Welcome back, team. Today I've prepared quite a special video for you all. I'm going to be going through literally every single OLAF matchup in the game one by one and breaking down how to play against that champion. Of course, that includes itemization, summoner spells, and of course the general game plan, so that when you load into a game, you can skip to the champion down below and get a good overview of how to play into that matchup. OLAF has been one of my favorite champions for quite some time now, so I really wanted to make this guide so that if you're adding OLAF to your champion pool, it's not going to be quite as daunting of an experience, because you can literally skip to any matchup in the game and get a good rundown of how to play it before the game begins. So if that sounds good to you, I'll timestamp all of it down below, and let's get started. Hey everyone, real quick before we get started, if you're truly interested in mastering your OLAF and taking them to that next level, I've created a full in-depth guide on the TLA website. So if you want to get access to this guide and really build that champ mastery, and also be coached by me at the same time, the link will be in the description. I hope to see you there. Now, before we go through each champion one by one, I'm going to be quickly breaking down my matchup tier list for OLAF, so that you have a better understanding of which matchups are hard, and which matchups you should be winning. Now, keep in mind this is a high elo tier list, it doesn't apply for all elo brackets. The main differences are going to be, you can see the champions in hard tier. If you're playing in maybe silver or bronze, you're probably not going to struggle into a Jayce or an Aurora player, but if you're in those ranks, maybe champions like Mordekaiser or Set will be a little bit more difficult for you, but these other matchups should go objectively at the top level, so you can use this as a rough template. Now, the champions in hard tier, they all have ways to poke OLAF down without really taking damage in response. So they can poke you down if you try to go onto them, especially if they have good spacing, which most high elo players will have if they play range tops, or if they take phase rush. It's going to be really hard for you to get the extended trades that OLAF likes, so all of those champions are really hard for that reason. If you verse a Quinn or a Teemo in silver and they take pressure attack and you hit an axe at level 6, they are going to die. But the good players in high ranks, they're going to take phase rush, they're going to get swifty boots, they're going to bait you to use Q. It's going to be really hard for you to get that extended trade against them in the first place. Now, in opponent favored, it's pretty similar. The difference between these ones, even though most of them can poke you down without taking damage in response, is it's a lot easier to get that long trade. Gangplank's just got his fruit, he's not going to take phase rush or anything like that. Even if he does, that means his poke's not going to stick as much, so it's a lot easier to get long trades into champions like Ambessa or Gangplank. Now, easy is a relative term, it's still very difficult, but they're not going to be able to kite you around as easily as the champions above it, so you will find windows to all in against them eventually. Now, some other champions in the skill matchup tier, some of these are skill matchups that are weighted towards the champion. So for Camille, Walk, or Jax, it's slightly in their favor, maybe 55-45, 52-48, something like that. But OLAF can still win them consistently if you play the matchup better. So these champions, you can see, most of them don't really have ways to poke OLAF down or space them without OLAF being able to get on top of them. And if OLAF can get a long trade into the majority of them, you are going to win it. Now, for OLAF favored, these are the champions where you should have full control of the lane the majority of the time. You're really favored in long trades, it's really hard for them to short trade up against you, and you're going to have full control of the wave the majority of the matchup. So that's why if you can manipulate your wave well, you can get your wave into good positions, you can play for those long trades, and most of them are not going to be able to fight you back. Now, in the free matchup, it's pretty much the same thing, except these are the ones where not just in the early game, as the game goes on, it just gets easier and easier as well. When you have Rav Hydra into most of them, you can just 1v2 them at top jungle. If you have Rav Hydra in your verse Malphite Vi or Jarvan, Shen, something like that, you're going to be able to 1v2 them pretty much the entire game. So these matchups are good for that reason. They're really easy in lane as well. Really easy to get free farm against them, especially if they play safe or get a few solo kills along the way. And you're going to scale really well into the game if you verse any champion in the free section, and the majority of champions in OLAF favored. But again, this is a high elo tier list. Matchups like Pantheon or Set with Ignite are going to be a little bit more difficult for you if you're just starting out in ranks such as Gold, ranks such as Platinum, and champions like Akali or Ambessa will actually be a little bit easier for you in those ranks. So take this with a grain of salt. It really depends on which rank you're in and how confident you are at OLAF. Now, we're going to be going through every matchup one by one in alphabetical order, all timestamped down below, starting things off with Aatrox. Now, in this lane, you want to be going Doran's Blade with Ghost and Flash, normal conk setup, and your goal is to get extended trades. He wants short trades, you want long trades. Now, OLAF wins this matchup 1-3, 1-4, but then Aatrox starts to win it 5-9. So you need to be able to get an early game advantage if you can, either kill Aatrox ideally, or make him base at a suboptimal time. And the way you're going to be doing that, I would recommend going for a massive trade level 1, make it volatile, chase him down the lane, so take over the third lane bush. let the wave settle, whatever you can do to get behind them, and just chase him down, make it volatile. Now the wave is going to get angered from you doing that probably, so look for a 2-wave crash. The faster you crash the second wave, the better. Of course, looking for your level 2 versus 1 fight along the way, and then have the wave come back towards you. Now the trick to this matchup is abusing your approach velocity. Approach velocity will give you move speed towards them and backwards, briefly if you look at them momentarily. So if you hit a Q at the same time he hits his Q, you can close the gap towards him. So you want to be trying to Q first. You want to be trying to Q him before he Qs you, and that he's reacting to you, so that you already have the approach velocity and movement speed. Because if you Q at the same time, you're not going to have that movement speed, so you want to try hit him with a Q, run at him, get between them, do not dodge backwards for Q1, try to close towards him, and just get that extended trade. Make him cycle Qs. Your second Q is going to proc approach as well, use that to dodge the center part of Q3. If you can make Q2 hit you on the inner part and Q1, and then dodge center of Q3, you're going to win that trade. So always be looking for these extended trades. If he hits you with a W in a situation where you can take a long trade, just pop your ghost and run right through it, and make sure you're getting that extended trade as much as you can. Now you're going to lose the War of Attrition, you don't have that good sustain, you have mana costs, so probably going to be looking to crash wave 4 or wave 5, depends on the lane, and get an early recall off, extra longsword, refill potion, come back to lane and play for that all-in, play to kill him. He's not going to be able to crash his wave in time, so that's going to be your big timer after you reset, where you've got the item advantage, you got full HP, full mana, where you want to be going for your first big all-in and play for that early game advantage. Next up, we have Akali. Now, for this matchup, you can run D-Shield or D-Blade. I recommend D-Shield, as she does have quite a lot of poke. Now, in this lane, you're going to be running Ghost and Flash, and your goal is to get an early game advantage, because at level 6, she can pretty much kill you whenever she wants. So, because of that, you need to rush Hex Drinker in this lane. If you win early, if you get a solo kill level 4 or something like that, you can skip Hex, but a lot of the time you do want to go Hex Drinker as your first item, or she's just going to kill you at level 6. Especially if she has Ignite and Conqueror. So your goal in this lane is to get prior no matter what, go for a 2-wave crash into a proxy even if their jungler's pathing down. If you don't know where he's going or if he's pathing up, just go for a big level 1 trade against her. Remember, you want extended trades, she wants short trades, so big level 1 all in, crash wave 2, really decisively, have wave 3 come out, then you can either crash wave 3 again. The good thing about this matchup is if you keep hitting the wave, you can heal a lot of her poke, because she doesn't really have that many Qs to use, she has to wait for an energy, stuff like that. So just keep hitting the wave, crash wave 2 and then crash wave 3 is perfectly fine, because wave 4 will bounce back to the middle of the lane, and then you can use that for a big all-in. If you can't get that all in, or if she respects, stack wave 4 and wave 5 together, and crash that in one swoop, and then get your recall off. By then you're probably going to be so base then, pick up your extra longsword refill, something like that, come back to lane, and then play for another all in. You have one more timer before she gets level 6, or 1 or 2 more timers, level 4, level 5, before she gets ulti, and by the time she has ulti, you probably want to be trying to get a base off again, so that you can finish upgrading your Hex Drinker. If you can't get an advantage before level 6, there's going to be this timer where you don't have Hex Drinker and she has ulti. You have to play very respectful. You need to be farming from a distance with Q. You need to be playing in a way where she can't just start with Q, click backwards, auto, and then ult you later on. Make her max range ult you into a Q to the head, and you click away, maybe pop Ghost, and that's going to be more okay. But this matchup's quite difficult, so try to weather that situation where you don't have Hex and she's level 6. That's when you have to play the most careful. But if you don't get solo kill during that timer, and you do get your Hex Drinker, even if you have to base on an ugly timer and give up some XP, you're going to be fine for the rest of the matchup. Also, go Stride Breaker in this one, unless they have 5 melee champions, because even though she's melee, it's kind of a fake melee champion, so it doesn't really do much for you. So just Hex Drinker into Stride, or you can go full more if they have an AP jungler like Akali Irelia, that'd be perfectly okay as well. Now, for Akshan, you want to go Doran Shield with Ghost and Flash and rush Ninja Tabbies as quickly as you can. And then go in Stride Breaker, of course, but for the early lane, he is going to get priority. So that means you have to let him push you in and really heavily utilize bush control. Don't really try to get the big level 1 all in, it doesn't really go that well in this matchup unless he makes a big spacing mistake. Just utilize bushes, stay high HP, come out of the bush, get a minion, go back in, or utilize your Q to get maybe 2 minions and hit him at the same time, as long as you don't get low. You want to be maintaining high HP so that when he pushes you in and the wave is near your tower and you're level 2 with QW or level 3 depending on how he plays the wave and you hit an axe, it's go time. Remember, you want to be playing it like you're fishing. If you hit the axe, pop your ghost, run at him. If you miss the axe, then just chill and wait for the next opportunity. It's all about getting that extended trade, but making sure level 1, level 2, when he's got the minion, when he's got the XP advantage, that you're not getting too low, because then when you are level 3, or in some cases level 2, with the wave on your side, and you could abuse a long lane, if you're too low, you're going to miss that opportunity, so conserve HP early, give a few minions if you have to, and then wait for your opportunity to strike when the wave is near your side of the lane, and you do hit your axe. Moving on to OLAF versus Ambessa, and this matchup is quite difficult. I'd recommend that you run Ghost and Flash together with Doran's Blade, and make sure you play to actually give her priority. I found that if you all in her level 1, D-Shield second one's too broken, she's going to poke you down too much. It makes it really hard to 2-wave crash into 4-wave or 3 into 5, because she just has so much damn poke. So you need to be getting an extended trade. But you can't get an extended trade if you're pushing against her, because if you Q and run at her, she'll Q hop, and be back to her tower in no time. So actually give her priority. You can tank her first set of Qs, that's fine. Be gentle with the wave, let it come to your side. Make sure you're trimming it though. Don't let her get level 2 with a big wave advantage or anything like that. And then when the wave is on your side and you get level 2, go for a level 2 all-in with Q and W, when she only has access to 2 abilities. You can also do level 3 versus 3, that's fine as well. If she jumps onto you and maybe uses 2 spells to reach you, you hit your axe, you pop that ghost, it's go time. You have flash to follow her flash. So giving her early game priority I found is actually better in this matchup a lot of the time. And later on in the lane, it gets very, very difficult, level 5 to 9. I'd recommend going Rev Hydra with an early Vamp Scepter, with D-Blade, Vamp, and your OLAF passive. You can heal a lot of her poke down, because when her spells are on cooldown, she has to run away, which gives you a lot of breathing room just to bash the wave down and get your, get your recall off. So really value your base timing in this matchup. Play for long trades only. She wants short trades, you want long trades. So try to do that level 2, level 3 trick. If that doesn't work, you can always try to do it later on, like a level 7 all-in, level 9 all-in, as long as the wave is near your tower and she uses an ability, it's time to go. So if you can also hit your Q and predict where she's going to jump to, that's going to be ideal as well. If she's jumping around, just hold your Q for a little bit, and you can always ulti her ulti. Just make sure you ulti before her spell hits you. Now, keep in mind, when you go for the all-in at level 6, she's going to ulti for the hop. So you need to have very, very good Q placement. Do not throw your Q 2 screens away, because if you throw your Q, let's just randomly say to the left, and she ups to the right, it's going to be very hard to hit it. So do baby Qs, the maximum amount of range where it's still going to hit her, but very easy for you to pick up. Next, we have Aurora, and this is one of my least favorite OLAF matchups in the game, and you have 2 strategies for this one. So no matter what, you're going to be wanting to go Doran's Shield. Of course, her poke is just way too brutal. But your 2 strategies are Ghost and Flash and play for early all-ins, or TP and Ghost and play for Stridebreaker. Because no matter what, add Ionians and Stridebreaker, tier 1 Stride doesn't matter. You can just run her down and kill her whenever you want. She has to respect you quite heavily. However, that's not really until 14-15 minutes into the game. So if you want to play for early game advantages, your goal is to conserve HP early game. So don't try to get prio no matter what. If you do get prio, you're going to get poked down the whole time that you're hitting the wave and trying to ego the level 2. That is not going to be worth it. So utilize bush control, but still try to do as much minion damage as you can. Leave the bush, kind of hit it a couple times, maybe chuck a Q that hits all 6 minions in her. Don't let her get level 2 with a 3-4 minion advantage. Try to get level 2 at a similar time. Of course, I will be slightly behind her, but try to hit the wave as much as you can without getting brutally poked down. And to do that, you need to be baiting her Q. So pretend to walk towards her, juke to the side, and try to put that Q on cooldown, and then you can hit the wave freely. This is going to be even better if you hit your axe and proc approach velocity. Then you should pretend that like you're going to run at her, pretend you're going to go for the all-in, stick out your chest, and then dodge to the side at the last second, dodging her Q. That's going to put you in a really good position to hit the lane a lot. The reason it's important to hit the wave is when you're level 2, and she's level 2, this is a really good time at all-in. If you hit your axe, you can go. Because at level 3, she's going to have all 3 of her abilities. She can dodge with W and with E. Too much disengage. But at just level 2, if you hit your axe, pop, ghost, and run at her, and dodge her little kick to the head thing, her E, if you can dodge that by clicking to the side with approach velocity and ghost movement speed, then you can get on top of her, you can burn her flash or chunk her, or maybe even kill her. So that's going to be the way you play your lane in the early game. And then when you do get that all-in, and she has to respect you a bit more, then you can build a big slow push, crash the wave, and get a free recall off. However, that requires really good execution. If you mess that up and you get chunked and you don't hit your axe or something like that, you're going to be stuck under tower with no TP. It can be quite brutal, so go Ghost Flash if you're confident. If you feel like you normally do quite well against ranged champions. If not, just take TP Ghost, and you can even practice this strategy without Flash. And if you fail it, you've always got that TP backup plan. But without having Flash and Ghost together, you won't really be able to kill her during that level 2 or level 3 all-in. So it's better for you to run Ghost and Flash if you are planning to play like that. And TP if you're just planning to stay high HP early game. Play for ganks, take good tempo recalls, and then look to run her down at Stridebreaker. Moving on to Camille. Now with this matchup you want D-Blade, Ghost and Flash, and your goal is to get extended trades no matter what. She really wants short trades and you really want long trades. So to do that, your wave control needs to be really on point. I actually recommend in this matchup not taking a big level 1 all-in, just be gentle with the wave. If she walks at you, and auto attacks you once, that's okay. It'll proc her passive, then when her passive's down, if she walks at you again, you can take a big trade. Of course, it does depend what she does, but most Camilles are not going to try fight you to the death level 1. So what should normally happen is you're going to be very delicate with the wave, you're going to build a nice big slow push and crash wave 3. The reason for that is if you try to crash wave 2, it's going to bounce back still in the Camille zone, still in that area by the tower where she can EU very easily. But if you hard push wave 3, wave 4 bounce back to the middle of the lane. Granted, you kill wave 3 quick enough, and then she's not going to be able to utilize the walls, and then you can take a bigger trade onto her, and make sure you're not tanking her E. Just take a big trade and then start to click away when she gets near the wall, that's perfectly fine, and then you're probably going to stack wave 4 and 5 together, crash that, base, come back to lane, extra longsword, and then look to run her down. So remember, no matter what in this matchup, your goal is extended trades. Make sure every hard push you're doing is very clean, so that the wave bounces back near the center, and then if you hit a Q, you can go for an all-in. Just don't get baited, don't hit a Q, don't pop your ghost and run at her, and then she eases away, and then you're stuck there with no ghost. Only look to pop ghost if the wave is on your side near the tower, and you can run her down and keep hitting her, and it's going to take her a long time to reach a wall with her E, that's fine as well. One extra tip for this matchup as well, if she is running away, a big reason why you want to take ghost and flash, if you're ghosting after her and she eases a wall, if you can flash on top of her character with ult team, her E is going to stop on you. Her E has to hit you, and you're not going to get CC'd because of your ult team, so that's how you can really easily get that all in. You hit Q, you ghost her down, auto E, she eases away, you flash right on top of her character, she's stuck there, it's going to be an easy kill for you. Next up, we have Cassiopeia, and for this one, you definitely want Ghost and Flash, but you can run either D-Blade or D-Shield depending on your preference. If you want me to make the choice for you, just slam D-Blade and make sure you dodge your Qs a little bit better. Now, in this lane, it's really important that you identify which rune she's taken in loading screen. So if she hits Phase Rush, that means it's really hard for you to get onto her, and you have to play around that cooldown. So one trade to pop Phase Rush, so Q, run at her, she procs Phase Rush, and you run away straight away. And then you go for the all-in when her Phase Rush is on cooldown, next time you hit your Q. If she has Conqueror, that means it's easier for you to all-in her, but it's also easier for her to all-in you. So if you both have Conqueror, it becomes quite skillful, I would say. Phase Rush is just about playing around that cooldown, but no matter what, you want to get prior. Because level 2 Cassiopeia does a shitload of damage, level 1 Cassiopeia doesn't really do much, as long as you're dodging your Qs, so make sure you're bashing the wave a bunch. Probably just go for a 2-wave crash is best, and then let the wave come all the way back towards you. Some games you might need a 3-wave if the Cassio is a Psycho, but going for a 2-wave is perfectly fine. If you hit your Akshan at level 1, and you get an angle to walk up and start bashing it, that's perfectly fine as well, as making it volatile is going to benefit you. If you're both low HP, it's normally going to be better for you. So 2-wave crash, and then let the wave actually come all the way back to your tower. So after your 2-wave, be quite passive now with the wave, just farm, just dodge your Qs, respect your level 3 vs 2, stuff like that, and then when the wave is near your tower, hit a Q, pop ghost, run it down, flash to follow her flash, and it should be a nice free kill. You can also go Hexdrinker in this matchup. I don't recommend it unless they have an AP jungler as well. So like Cassiopeia Elise or something. If the Cassio jungler hates her, you can go Hexdrinker, but you don't really need it. You can just go tier 1 boots early into Stridebreaker, and then at Stridebreaker, it's a very, very free kill. Moving on to Cho'Gath, and for this matchup you definitely want Doran's Blade, but you can run either Ghost Flash or Ghost TP, depending on their team comp. So if they have a heavy range comp, so say they have Orianna mid and Zeri Lulu, go Ghost and Flash, you need the mobility. But if they have Silas and Nautilus and champs that are going to run towards you from mid and bot, then you can just run TP and Ghost, that's perfectly fine, because versus tank matchups you don't really need the extra combat power for lane. With double combat sum, you can run TP and it makes the macro a lot easier for you. Now your goal in this matchup, just go for a big level 1 all-in, unless he has Halo Blades, then be a bit careful, but if he doesn't, you want long trades and he wants short trades, so make sure you really are using your approach velocity well in this matchup to dodge his Q. So you want to go first normally, hit your Q, run at him, and use that movement speed well. He's always going to try to Q you when you're running at him, so make sure you pre-dodge backwards, pre-dodge to the side ideally, pick up your axe, hit it again, just keep running him down. With approaching Ghost, it's very, very easy to dodge his Q as long as you're thinking about it, and so make sure you're playing around that. Now, if he's just sitting 2 screens away chucking Qs, your wave control has to be very on point, so make sure you're either crashing wave 3 and letting wave 4 come back to the middle, and then going for an all-in, or crashing wave 2 and letting the wave come all the way back to your side. When do you do each one? You want to crash wave 2 if you are taking a big level 1 all-in and it's bothering the wave and you hit the wave a bunch, just crash wave 2, that's perfectly fine, he should be low HP as well. But if he's sitting really far back and respecting and you can't really get that big level 1 all-in, then just be really slow with the wave, crash wave 3, wave 4 back to center, and then take over the 3rd lane bush and go for that extended trade on him on that timer when he walks up to get XP. Next up, we have Darius, and this matchup's extremely fun because it's just so damn volatile. You are guaranteed, I don't make the rules, to go either 5-0 or 0-5 in this lane. There is no middle ground. The reason for that, you are going to be taking Ignite and Flash together. The reason you're not taking Ghost is because this matchup's all about winning the lane. Both of your champions are forced to fight each other, so you need to give yourself as much combat power as possible, even though Ghost Flash will scale a little bit better. Now, the reason you take Flash over Ghost specifically is to flash his Q. That seems like a small thing, but if you can flash his Q in a 1v1, it makes a massive difference. That's not only a big chunk of damage, it's also his healing, as a bleed stack as well, so you need to be able to flash that ability. So igniting Flash and look for the level 1 all-in. I know it's Darius, that's why you've got Ignite, and fight him to the death. You must get pro, you must take the level 1 all-in, but make sure you're very careful with your axe. Do not throw your axe 2 screens away. You need to be walking up to him, doing a small axe that's close range so that you can pick it up very easily, and then just keep fighting. Play for the trade at all costs. You must get that level 1 all in. If he's playing a little bit safe because he sees your Ignite, then just get prio, go for either a 2-wave crash or a 3-wave crash, depending on what Darius does, and just make sure you're maintaining control of the lane, and make sure you get the first recall. Do not let the wave come back all the way to you, like you're trying to freeze versus Kayle or something like that. Just make sure you're getting the first recall when you need to, so maybe a wave 2 crash into a wave 4, 3 into 5, something like that. Just whenever you crash a double stacked wave and your HP and mana pool's not looking that good, get your recall off, get longsword refillable. I really hate 3-wave crash in the base, by the way. You can't get longsword refill, you can barely get sword. So look for either wave 4 or wave 5. Base, come back to lane longsword refill, and then go for an all-in with your item and resource advantage. But again, this matchup is all about holding your ground, being confident you must take the all-in against him. Now, when the wave is coming back towards you, even with your item advantage, you do have to be quite careful. He's probably going to be level 4 to your level 3, and with the wave advantage, you have to respect that timer. 1 to 2, 1 to 3 is quite good for you. You're going to win the all-in, because he can't stack bleed very easily with one ability level 1, and then after that you have the wave advantage. But with the wave coming to you, he's gonna have all the spells, he can actually stack his bleed quite easily. So during level 4 to 6 you actually play relatively passive. So 1 to 3, really foot on the gas. 4 to 6, take a little vacation, and then at ulti, because you can ulti as E whenever you want, hit an X, run at him, ulti just before you get into E range, and then you can play for that kill as well. So that level 4 to 6 timer is the scariest part of this matchup, so make sure you're not taking an all-in and getting killed during that timer. Next up, we have Dr. Mundo, and for this matchup, you want D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash, and this example on the screen right now is actually up against the best Mundo player in Korea, so definitely a good example to learn from. So your goal in this matchup is to make sure you let the wave come back towards you and go for an early all-in. So to do that, you want to be crashing wave 2, so try to take an extended trade if he ever walks up. Crash wave 2, and then crash wave 3 right away. The reason you want to do that is because if you're doing that, you can hit the wave a lot, you can take a long trade without worrying about the wave control, and if you rush wave 3 straight away, you can get level 3 before the Mundo, get wave 3 in, and then wave 4 bounce back near the center. Now let the wave come back all the way to your side, and play for that extended trade, go for that long trade. And the reason you mainly play for the waves early, unless Mundo walks up and trolls, is you don't really want to be too low. You don't want to have to recall early in this matchup, because that gives him too much space in the lane. You want to try and maintain high HP and mana, while of course punishing him when he walks up. Let the wave come back towards you so that you actually have the resource advantage needed, well, the resources needed to get that extended trade and all in him. Run him down, and then after that you can just build a big wave, maybe dive him, maybe get a free recall off, but you're going to be in a really good position from that point. Now, for Fiora, this matchup's also quite unique. You're going to be running Doran's Blade, but with Barrier and Flash as your summoner spells. The reasoning for that is you need to be able to fight her for a long time. You need the trade to go for an extended amount of time, and with combination of your W and Barrier, and of course the fact that OLAF fights so damn well from low HP, you're going to be able to fight her for that time that you need. She's not going to be able to all-in you when you're low, if you're holding onto your W and your barrier together. Just W is not enough because she's going to kind of parry during that time, even if you got ulti and burst you down, especially if she takes ignite. So taking barrier with W together means you can fight her when you're low, and you are going to get low. She's going to be able to poke you down without you being able to do much in response if she has good Q spacing, so you do have to watch out for that. So make sure you're trying to get prio if you can. If she has TP, you get prio. If she has ignite, you don't, especially if she has PTA or something like that. So just keep that in mind. If she has grasp, just ignore her Qs and beat down the wave. If she has like an ignite setup with Conqueror or PTA, then you do need to give her Prime and play for an extended trade when the wave is going towards her. Just make sure you heavily respect her level 2 and her level 3. Now, I don't recommend rushing Healing Cut in this matchup, because Rev Hydra is just so good. If you go Healing Cut, she has Rev Hydra, you don't, she's just going to heal so much. So just try to get Rev Hydra quite quickly, so that you can heal off the wave. Also, your first item is going to be Vamp Scepter towards that Rev Hydra, for the same reasoning. She's going to keep trying to space you with Q and poke you down, but if you keep bashing the wave with OLAF's passive lifesteal and Vamp Scepter, you can heal a lot of her poke down, and then when you do get your opportunity to go for the extended trade, you do want to take it. So the opportunity to get it is when she fails her Q spacing. So she Qs you off to the side, maybe to the left of you or to the right of you, and you've got a lot of room to run her down. If you hit your Q, it's just go time. Just make sure you have your ulti for her parry, or you're using approach velocity to dodge it. That's going to be really ideal. But if she's just doing tiny max range Qs and poking you down like a little mosquito, that's fine. You just need to tank that and heal her back up. But if she overcommits onto you with bad Q spacing and you hit your X, you're going to destroy her in that 1v1. Next up, we have Galio, and this matchup's actually relatively straightforward. 1 to 5, it's quite hard to kill him if he plays it well. Of course, if he wastes his abilities and walks up, you can just kill him, but level 6, he can't really play the game. So your goal, Orange Blade, Ghost and Flash, get early game priority, and make sure you don't take too much damage. You are going to get poked down while you're getting prime, so just make sure you get a good early recall off for Longsword refill. Now the wave will come back to you, he might base as well, that's fine, and mainly play for your level 6 timer. When you're getting close to 6, allow the wave to come back towards you on your side. If you hit an Axe, you pop your Ghost, you ulti when he E's you, try to react to his E animation with ulti, and then he's just going to die. So that's kind of the formula for this matchup. But even if you don't kill him in lane, hit Rev Hydra, you can just 1v2 enemy top jungle the whole game, so it's a relatively straightforward one. Next up, we have Gangplank, and for this matchup, you want to go D-Shield with Ghost and Flash, and this matchup's quite tricky. Even though you can technically get Prio up against him if you want, I don't recommend it. I recommend letting him push you in early, try to get an angle when you're level 2 or level 3, and you hit your Axe onto him and Ghost him down, and get that extended trade. The reason I don't like getting Prio is that the lane's not long enough at that point to get a meaningful trade onto him, unless he messes up. If he walks up, of course, that's fine, but if you hit Q, run at him, he fire swords you, hits a barrel onto you, something like that, double barrels you, it's not going to feel that good, so let him push you in early game. Make sure you go for an angle when you're level 2 vs 2 or level 3 vs 3, and you hit your Axe and go for the Ghost all in. Especially level 2 if you've got W, and the wave size isn't that much bigger from his point of view, then you can get that extended trade going. Now, just keep in mind, you don't want to ever let him single barrel you, make him double barrel you. It's fine, you're going to tank a bit of damage, that's what the D-Shield is for, and Olaf's lifesteal, give it a job to do. Just make sure you're not walking in and letting him single barrel, it's just way too efficient of a trade, make him use 2 barrels at all times, and then when you do go for the all-in, try to use your Ghost and approach velocity to dodge the barrel. If you can do that, he's just going to die. You can even flash over it as well if you wanted to, depends on the situation, but the goal in this matchup, you really need to play for that extended trade and make sure you're not getting too low during the early points of the lane before the trade opportunity presents itself. Next up, we have Garen, and quite a lot of people don't like this matchup. I'm actually a fan of it. I feel like it's quite good for OLAF if you understand the win cons of it. Now, you're going to be running Orange Blade with Ghost and Flash, but it's really important that you identify his rune and loading screen. If he has Phase Rush or Conqueror, that changes what you want to do. So if he has Conqueror, you can take a big level 1 trade to the death against him and make him run down the lane. That's perfectly fine. If he has Phase Rush, you just want to be playing mainly for the wave. If he walks up and Qs you, buffer your Q through his Q animation and auto attack him a bunch. But the problem with forcing a trade onto him, if you run onto his minion wave, he'll auto Q auto you and phase rush away. So just make sure you never give him that opportunity for the auto Q auto. So if he walks onto your side, make sure you start hitting him straight away and buffer your Q through that silence. That'll also apply later on when you're all inning him. You'll hit a Q, you run at him, buffer your E. Start your E first. Don't Q auto E, Q E auto, because you don't want to be silenced. With your E still available, you want to be buffering that E through the silence. That's going to be ideal for you. Now, you want to be getting prior, you want to make sure you get the first recall. So I'd say maybe you crash wave 4 or wave 5, it depends on the situation. So wave 2 crash into wave 4, or 3 into 5, both are fine. And then base if you need to. Base if you need the resources, come back with that longsword refill. And with D-Blade longsword refill versus Darius Shield Garen, you are going to obliterate him at a level 4 all in. So you're really going to be looking for that. Remember, if he has Phase Rush, 2 trades. 1 trade to burn Phase Rush, and then if you hit your Q, you go for the second one. If he has Conqueror, just hit your Q and go on him. Force that extended trade. Try to let the wave come back to you after your first recall. Try to let it come back to your side of the lane and freeze it, because Garen's probably not going to try to base it early on for 1 longsword or something. That's not really Garen's identity. So if you can get a freeze off and you've got the big item advantage, then you can go for that extended trade. Next up, we have Gnar, and even though he is a ranged champion, you're still going to run Orange Blade with Ghost and Flash. The reasoning for it, he's a pretty weak range champion early game. You're going to have full pro, you're going to have full control of the lane, which means you can base whenever you want, so you don't really need the extra regen from shield, and D-Blade is going to feel really nice when you do go for that all-in. So I recommend trying to cheese him level 1, try and take the third lane bush, let the wave come in, let it settle down, and then take an extended trade against him. He wants to poke you down while staying healthy. He really wants to get Swifty Boots on his first recall, so you need to make sure that doesn't happen and make it volatile. Take a big level 1 trade, try to beat him up, and then make sure you crash your wave 2 or wave 3 decisively, make the wave come back to you, and then go for an extended trade all over again. Now before level 6, you need to play around his Mega, but at level 6, when he's freshly transformed into Mega form, so he can't double jump anymore, and you hit your Axe, that's when you can run him down with ulti, with Ghost, it's very, very easy. But before that point, before you have your ulti, play around his Mega, don't take a free chunk for free, and just make sure you're really playing for that heavy trade mindset, and you're prioritizing your base timer as your top priority. Moving on to Gragas, and for this matchup I recommend Doran's Blade with TP and Ghost. You don't really need double combat sums against him. He's going to take Phase Rush anyway, and he's just a meatball with great wave clear. Pretty hard to kill, so it's better for you to play for that proxy playstyle. So crashing big waves, going for proxying, spreading your lead around the map. Go Rev Hydra first, and you can just tank his damage very easily. This matchup, if you do want to play for an early kill, because the enemy Gragas is quite bad and making mistakes, remember it's a 2-trade pattern. One trade, you hit your Q, you run at him, you proc his Phase Rush. The second one, you go for that all-in after hitting your Q. Never just Q him and pop ulti. If he has Phase Rush up, he's going to Phase Rush out. So make sure you do that 2-trade playstyle up against him. But again, this matchup's more about proxying, attacking the enemy jungle, spreading your lead around the map. Because he's just a meatball, you're not going to make much progress against him anyway. Moving on to Gwen, and for this matchup I recommend D-Blade with Ghost and Flash, and you want to rush more of Mormortius in this one ideally. You can just do Hexrinker if it's solo AP Gwen or something like that, but a full Mor does go a long way. Now for this lane, you need long trades really badly, and she needs short trades, so make sure you get priority early game. If she starts Q, go for a massive all-in against her. You'll know she starts Q straight away. If she hits a minion and gets a stack of Q, it's go time. Hit your Q, run her down. Her goal is to poke you down from far away, abusing your Q range, so you need to make sure you're playing for long trades only. Do not just take short trades against her. You want extended trades, and to do that, you need to crash your waves quite well. So if you take a volatile level 1, crash wave 2. If level 1 nothing eventful happens, crash wave 3. Let the wave come back out, but no matter what, I'd actually recommend crashing wave 3 in this one. So a wave 2 crash, wave 3 comes back out. The faster you hit it and get level 3, the better, and then crash that wave as well. Have wave 4 come back to the center, and then go for an all-in up against her. This matchup gets really hard at level 6. Your ulti doesn't really do anything against Gwen. Her ulti does a lot against you, especially if she has Ignite, so you want to be trying to get an early game advantage against her. If you don't get a kill on that level 3, level 4 timer, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you get the first recall off. She has TP, you don't, so make sure you get a clean recall, come back to lane, and go for an all-in on that timer with your longsword and D-Blade. Now, this is one of these matchups where level 6, you're probably not going to have your Hexrinker just quite yet, unless you've already killed her once or twice, so that's that time you have to be careful. When she has Ignited and her ulti, and you're just sitting on Longsword D-Blade, that's when you've got to chill out a little bit, mainly play for the wave, mainly play for a reset timer, and when you do have your Hexrinker, then you can play for a fight, but even then I wouldn't really go for an all-in fight to the death, unless the wave is on your side, and you know you can dodge her Q with your Ghost or your Flash. That's something to keep in mind as well. If you can flash an entire Q from her, or an RQ with your Flash, that's going to be really good for your 1v1 all-in. Next we have Illaoi, and for this one you definitely want D-Blade, Ghost and Flash, and your goal is to get a kill at 1 to 5. Normally I'd say an early game advantage, but with Illaoi you really want to kill that champion, but you have full agency to do so. So I'd recommend going for a big level 1 all-in fight to the death, and then just go for a wave 2 crash, let the wave come back towards you, let it come all the way back in, do not annoy the wave, let it come back to your side, try to trim the wave as much as you can, without breaking your bounce back, and then when you're level 3 or both level 4, hit your axe, pop Ghost, she is going to die, and that's going to be a consistent timer. If their jungler comes and ruins it, that's going to be annoying. However, it's fine, just get your reset off. After the jungler pushes in the wave, it'll bounce back out to her, crash that one cleanly, get your reset off, and then you need to start really playing the trades well. So even before this point, the way you want to be playing the trades is using approach velocity. So hit your Q, run at her, pretend you're going to run her down, and dodge to the side. Do not react to her E. It's way too fast. You need to predict it. You need to anticipate that it's coming because you're leaving the minion line and dodge to the side. When it's on cooldown, you can just run straight at her, hit her with the second axe, and beat her hidden. You really need to heavily play around that. Make sure you're playing dodgeball the whole time. Do not let her get an E for free. Use the minion wave to block it, and if you can hit your Q onto it when she walks up to Q your minion, and then you run at her, use that approach velocity very well to dodge her E, and the trade's going to be very good for you. Next up, we have Irelia, and for this one, you want Doran's Blade, Ghost, and Flash, and I actually recommend rushing Frozen Heart in this matchup if they have an auto-attack based AD jungler. So if they have Graves, or Kindred, or Vi, Jarvan, something like that with Irelia, just go Frozen Heart into Rev Hydra, you're going to have a great time. But if they don't, that's not a problem, just go Tabbies into Rev, perfectly okay. Now, the goal in this matchup is to find her level 1. You are a hunting dog, you need to find her before the minions get low. So let the wave come in, let it settle, and find her, ward the river, and then guard the entrance to the lane. Do not let her come in unscathed. You need to fight her as much as you can before she gets anywhere near a minion, because if she has 4 stacks, the trade's going to be tough. If she doesn't, you're going to obliterate her. So really try to find her beforehand. If she plays well, and she respects that, try to zone her from EXP. If she fights you for the XP, you're going to win the trade, and then make sure you play for priority. You get level 2 advantage, level 3 advantage, all that nice stuff. Try to crash wave 3 in this matchup, and have wave 4 bounce back to the middle. The reason I prefer that, if you crash wave 2, she can try to rush level 3. On wave 3, it's quite annoying, so just try to go for a wave 3 crash, wave 4 back to center, and then you can go for an all-in, as granted her passive stacks have fallen off. If she keeps them up, and she's full HP, because you missed your trade opportunities, maybe you missed your axes, or maybe the jungler showed on your ward and you had to walk away, whatever it may be. If she has full stacks, just let the wave come back towards you, chill, and attack her on the bounce back when her passive stacks drop off. Now at ulti, even before ulti, you want to be using your approach velocity to dodge her E. So make sure, don't be afraid to pop Ghost as well. If you see her E come out, pop Ghost, dodge to the side. You're going to be chilling, even though you can ulti it. If you can dodge it and break that Q reset, really, really good for you. Also during a 1v1, if you flash behind her to dodge her ulti, really good as well. So just make sure you're utilizing your summoner spells to play around her E and ulti whenever you can, and playing around her passive stacks very heavily. Moving on to Jax, and for this matchup I recommend Ghost Flash and Doran's Blade, and this matchup you're going to expect it to be very volatile. Whoever gets the first kill, the enemy's nexus will explode. It's very, very volatile, very, very snowbally. Now a lot of OLAFs recommend maxing E in this matchup, but personally I hate it. You can't refresh your E cooldown hitting Jax anyway because of his E. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but you can keep picking up your Qs the whole time that he's Eing and get multiple rotations of your Axe down, and you're able to have better wave clear and poke him down at the same time, so still max Q as normal. Now for this matchup, if he takes Ignite, he's allowed to get Prio. If he doesn't have Ignite, you're allowed to get Prio, so make sure you keep that in mind and play for who gets priority depending on the summoner spell that they make the choice for you. Now your goal for this matchup is baiting his E with approach velocity. If he's slow and you're fast from approach, you can space out his E, you're going to be chilling. The worst thing you can do is let him walk you, auto WE, stun, and Q away. You need to hit your Q, walk at him, stick your chest out, pump your biceps up a little bit, make him use his E, and then you click backwards at the last second, dodge his E, walk back onto your axe, hit it, and then you just beat the shit out of him when his E is on cooldown. That 17-second timer when his E's down, that is your free time to bash him down. But again, if he has lethal tempo ignite, you have to give him Prio, and you can't really do that. You can still bait his E, but you can't beat him up. That's the thing. So try to bait his E to give you space to hit the wave, but make sure you understand that he gets Prio if he takes lethal tempo ignite. If he's a grasp and TP Jax, you want to do that, Q him, bait the E, and go for an extended trade when his E is on cooldown. That's going to be your common trade pattern. Do not let him lead with movement and auto WEU, or you're going to lose. You want to make sure that you're queuing him, walking, baiting the E, and making him Q follow you. If he has to Q follow you, then you can pop your Ghost, pick up your axe, and completely destroy him. He needs his Q to get away, but if you have bad spacing and he can EW you very easily, he can always Q to get away. So make sure you're trying to space his E on the outer ring of it, make him Q follow you, pop your Q, pop your ulti, and it's go time. Even without your ulti, if you buffer your Q through his E, through his stun, or you can even buff your E as well, that's perfectly fine. But if you buffer your Q and he's slowed with no Q and no E up, you're going to be able to kill him in that extended trade. Next up we have Jayce, and even though this matchup is very difficult for OLAF, I do have some tech for you to keep in mind. So you want to run Doran's Blade and Ghost and Flash, and the way I learned this matchup was from watching some OLAF one trick in Korea actually take out Bin in this lane. So your goal is to just conserve HP early game, let the Jayce push you in. Even though you can technically get Prio on OLAF, you're going to get poked down so much before you can get that extended trade, it's not going to be worth it. So what you want to do, let the Jayce push you in early game and go for a level 2 all-in with Q and W. So while he's pushing you in, try to hit the wave as much as you can, try to hit a Q on all the minions and Jayce, you know, stuff like that at the same time. Keep cheeky auto attacks onto the wave whenever you can. And then when the wave settles and you get level 2, hit your axe, pop Ghost. If you can trade your Ghost for its flash, then you can flash onto him to follow or flash on him on your next all-in. That's going to be ideal for you. So look for those all-in timers. Now if the Jayce has Phase Rush, you're going to have to Q, run at him, proc his Phase Rush, run away instantly, even if you have to leave your axe behind, and then all-in him on that timer when his axe is on cooldown. When his phase rush is on cooldown, but that's fine. He's going to do less damage. He's going to be squishier if he doesn't have Grasp or Conquer him. So that's going to be a trade-off. Just make sure you play around phase rush if he has it. If he doesn't, it's all about that fishing. If we hit the axe, we pop Ghost and go. If we miss the axe, we just chill, chuck our fishing hook out again, and we wait for the next one. Next up, we have Kayle. Now, your goal in this matchup, run D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. The goal is to make it as volatile as possible and make her base before 8,000 gold. You really need to make her recall before she can afford Swifty Boots. That is your top priority. So to do so, let the wave settle, cheese the bush, go for a big level 1 all-in, and try to zone XP. Really make her work for any point of XP. If she walks in with the wave, let it settle and then all in her. Even if that bothers the wave, it doesn't matter. You need to make her volatile and beat her up. Now, if you can't get that trade somehow, maybe she just accepts and loses 3 XP. Then go for a 3-wave crash. If she's playing really safe, sitting 2 screens away, not letting you hit her, 3-wave crash, wait for back to the middle, and try all over again to keep zoning from XP. However, if it does go volatile and you do get a trade, crash wave 2, as decisively as you can, and let the wave come all the way back to your side of the lane. Be very delicate with the wave, do not bother it, because then when the wave's there, and you hit your Q, pop Ghost, she's just going to die. Try to make sure the levels are equal though, not evil. Make sure she's not level 4 with a massive double stack wave to your level 3. Try to get level 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4 before you hit the axe and go for the all-in, because Kayle, especially if she takes PTA with a massive stack wave, she can fight you back a little bit, so just make sure you're matching that level, hitting your Q, and then going. So to do so, you need to trim the wave quite well. When it's coming to you, try to trim it so it's manageable, so that she doesn't have this monster stack of a wave coming towards you. Try to trim it down, and then when the wave is close enough to your side, and you hit that axe, you pop Ghost, you should be able to kill her with your double combat summon spell advantage. You really need to make your base before 1,000 gold, so don't be afraid to make it super volatile and play extremely aggressive. As long as you have a good understanding of what to do with the wave, it's going to be fine. Next up, we have Kennen, and for this matchup, you want D-Shield, Ghost, and Flash. Now, back in the day, this matchup was actually pretty good, but now the Kennens take Phase Rush, which makes it a lot more difficult. They got a little bit smarter. However, if you verse a Kennen that didn't get the memo and they don't have Phase Rush, you're going to be chilling. You need to mainly play for your level 6 timer, because if he doesn't have Phase Rush, his main disengage is CC. So at ulti, if you hit an axe, even with his E, you're going to be able to kill him very easily with your Ghost Flash combination. So your goal, let him push you in early, utilize the bush control to stay healthy. When the wave is bouncing back to him, you can go for a trade. If you hit your axe, go for a little all-in, make it a little bit volatile. But again, don't take too much damage, you need level 6 for this matchup. So just do your best to conserve HP early game with your D-Shield without taking too much damage. If you have to give a few minions, that's fine. Doesn't matter if you go down 10 or 15 minions even in this lane. It's not really favored for you. But if he doesn't have Phase Rush, once you hit an axe at level 6, pop your Ghost, he is just dead. Just remember, we hit our hook first. We hit our axe before we Ghost. We do not Ghost and run at him, and he eats away and dodges our axe, and we're fumbling our axe on the floor. You need to hit that axe first, and then commit your summon spells to kill him. Just keep in mind the 1 to 5, you're going to be playing quite passive, staying high HP, and waiting for your moment to strike at level 6. Next up, we have Kled, and a lot of people say this matchup is very Kled favored, but in my opinion, it's not too bad if you're good at baiting spells. So you want D-Blade, you can take Ghost Flash or Barrier Flash depending on your confidence. I'd recommend Ghost and Flash, so you don't need Barrier for this one. Now, what I mean by baiting spells is if you can hit your Q onto him first, walk towards him, he is going to Q you for sure. So you dodge to the side at the last second, you predict him that he's going to Q you, either when you walk towards him or when you go for a minion, that's when he's going to chuck his Q out. If you can dodge that and then hit your own axe and run him down, you are going to win the trade. Now keep in mind, you don't want to fight him to the death on his horse and then he drops off and you keep fighting him. Knock him off the horse and click away straight away the second he gets knocked off. Wait for your spells to come back up, and then you can go for that all-in on your next hook. The reason I like Ghost Flash together is when he's dismounted, if you hit your axe onto him and you have Ghost and Flash, it's relatively easy to kill him, but with just Flash, it can be a little bit tricky. But again, Barrier is perfectly acceptable in this lane, as Kled should take double combat summon spells as well. Now, for this lane, you want Tabby's Rush as quickly as you can. You want to play for priority, so make sure you're going for a big level 1 all-in. If his Q is on cooldown, don't tank his Q for the all-in. Hit your Q, run at him, dodge to the side, dodge it. If his Q hits you, try to Q him and click backwards to snap the rope, and don't go for that all-in. But again, this matchup is all about baiting spells. If you can successfully bait his Q, dodge it, and you hit your own one, you're going to be fine in this matchup. So I put a lot of concentration into that. Next up, we have Cassante, and for this one, I recommend D-Blade, and you can run Ghost Flash if they have a heavy range comp, or just TP Ghost if they don't. If they have a bunch of melees running towards you, you can just run TP in this one, it's perfectly fine. Now, this matchup slightly Cassante favored, to be honest, but the Cassante has to play it extremely well. So just remember, he wants short trades, you want long trades. That is the essence of this matchup. You must get the extended trade. So your goal is to get Prior Irelia, 2-wave crash into proxy. It's going to be really nice if their jungler paths down. That can be a great strategy for you. But do not take a big level 1 all-in against him. I actually advise against it, because this champion is just unkillable brick wall. Just play for the wave. Just hit the wave a bunch. If you get level 2 versus 1, that's a different story. But no level 1 versus 1 all-in to hold yourself back. 2-wave crash with a level 2 versus 1 trade ideally. Wave 3 comes back out. Rush level 3 before him. Do not let him get level 3 versus 2 against you. So bash those first 2 minions down. And then you can go for a wave 4 crash into a reset. That's going to be a really good opening to this matchup. Longsword D-Blade. Wave comes back to you. Hit your axe. Go for that all in. You're going to be in a great position. Now keep in mind, no matter what in this matchup, it does get a bit tricky at level 6. But when you have Ravenous Hydra, you can just ignore all his damage and you are chilling. So don't worry too much about it. Just be very mindful of a situation where you Q him, you run him, pop Ghost. It's quite easy for him to kite you out, to be honest, with his W, E, ult, TW. He's just got too much mobility. His champion came out pretty recently, so you do need to watch out for that. So just keep that in mind. Always try to use your ulti on his W as well. But the goal for this lane is just to have full control of the wave the whole time, get good tempo recalls, and make sure you're playing for those extended trades. Next up, we have Malphite, and for this one, you can go Doran's Blade, but go Doran's Shield if you're not that confident, use it as training wheels. Now, you're going to be running TP and Ghost together, because this matchup is less about trying to kill the Malphite, and more about spreading your lead around the map. You want to be proxying, you want to be attacking jungle, if you can even, 2-wave crash, ward up the jungle, crash another wave, go attack them, stuff like that, fight them on top crab. Really good strategy, because Malphite's very useless early on in the game, 1 to 5, so you want to try to spread your lead around, but it's going to be pretty hard to kill as well. So for this matchup, normally you want long trades, and yeah, you're going to win the long trade, but versus Malphite, that's quite tricky. So just popping him on the head with E every time he walks up, like an EQ and click backwards, is perfectly fine. You don't really want to just auto attack him. Let him E, W, Q and run away. So just try to space him with your E and Q extra ranges, and mainly play for that wave control. High tempo, with the wave, good recall, make sure you get the first recall off, come back to lane with that item advantage, and then you're going to have that one time at level 4 to play for the kill. If you miss it, not the end of the world, just perma shove him under tower, go Vamp Scepter early to heal his poke down, and try to spread your lead around the map. Focus less about the 1v1 in this matchup, and more about attacking his team now. A big advice for this matchup, big tip, you want to ulti before the ulti hits you. If he hits you with ulti and then you're not actually going to drop to the floor straight away. You're going to be knocked up for ages, you're going to be knocked up in the air, and then your ulti's not really going to do much value against it. So you want to press your R before his R hits you, and you're not going to get knocked up at all. That's a big reason why you don't need flash as well in this matchup. You don't need to flash his ulti, just R it, you're going to be perfectly fine. Next up, we have Maokai, which is one of OLAF's most free matchups in the game, because the axe will always beat the tree. Now for this one, you can run TP Ghost or Ghost and Flash, depends on your preference, with Doran's Blade, and pretty much this matchup, the only thing you need to keep in mind is not to die pre-6 to a gank. His gank setup is really good, but at level 6 you can pretty much 1v2 any combination of Maokai and the enemy jungle, so you're going to be fine at that point. But for the lane, make sure you go for a big level 1 all-in, extended trades versus short trades, try to crash wave 2. Wave 2 if you get a big trade, if you don't get one, crash wave 3, and then the wave will come back towards you, and look for an opportunity to run him down at level 6. So normally you're not going to kill him 1 to 5 without your ulti, he has too much CC to disengage you. So what you want to be doing is trying to base around level 4 after crashing a wave, get your extra longsword, maybe level 5 as well if you can stay in lane for a long time. Come back to lane, let the wave come back towards you, and run him down the second you get level 6, and you hit your axe, pop that ghost, and it should be a free solo kill. Next up, we have Mordekaiser. Now, for this matchup, you want D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. And one thing I want you to keep in mind when you're playing up against him, you want to try to start every trade by hitting a long-range Q to use approach velocity to maintain distance against him and dodge his abilities. If you hit a Q, you run at him, you juke to the left as he stops to use his Q animation, you're going to be fine. You can dodge every single E with approach velocity if you're trying to do it and thinking about it, so you're going to be fine. Now, keep in mind, one important tip about this matchup is if you ulti before he ults you, he can't ult. He can't use Mordekaiser's ulti onto you during your ulti timer, but if he ults you and you pop ulti, you're going to be stuck in that realm anyway. It didn't used to be like that, but it is now. So make sure you're ulting early. Don't try to react to his ulti. You definitely can do that, but just keep it simple. Hit your axe, run at him, pop your ulti early, and you should be good to go. Now for the early lane, I'd recommend going for a big level 1 all-in if he does not have Ignite. If he does have Ignite, play for Prime, get level 2 advantage, and then take a level 2 versus 1 all-in. That's going to be a more consistent strategy. Crash wave 2. Let the wave come back towards you, and just make sure in this matchup that you get the first recall off, because if he has TP, and then he's going to have that TP advantage, of course, but also the fact that he doesn't have mana, he's got a little bit more sustain with W, so it's just important for you to get the first recall off before you go. So make sure normally after wave 5, wave 6, really depends what he does, but you're basing early for longsword refill, come back to lane, and try to all-in him and get that solo kill on that level 4 timer with Ghost. Now for Nasus, this matchup you want D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. Make sure you're getting priority no matter what. If he ever walks up, you need to get that extended trade. No baby trades, no queuing him and walking away. You need that extended trade. Now if he's the classic Nasus player that sits 2 screens away and farms with E, try to go for a 3-wave crash. So really slowly push wave 1, 2, 3, crash wave 3, have wave 4 bounce back to the center, and try to get a big trade against him. If he does walk up, of course get that extended trade and look to punish him. Now with this matchup, it's a lot easier to kill him at level 6 when you can just his wither, but you can kill him before that if he ever does walk up. But if not, try to stay in lane for a long time. Don't be too crazy if the Nasus player is sitting too far away. Make sure you're not being too crazy with your resources, because if he's not giving you those extended trades, then crash wave 3, have the wave in the middle, try to zone him from farm, just bleed him out at 10, 15 CS gap, maybe even 20, and then around level 5 or 5.5, crash a big wave, recall, come back to lane with tier 2 boots, most likely Ionian boots, and then all in him on your level 6 timer. That's going to be a pretty consistent kill strategy for you. Next up we have Ornn, and for this one I recommend taking D-Blade with TP and Ghost, but you can run Ghost and Flash if they have a very heavy range comp. The reason you're taking TP, this is a tanky meatball type of matchup who's just playing to go even. He's not going to play that aggressive most likely, so it's better for you to be able to utilize TP to attack the map instead, play more so for proxying and spreading your advantage elsewhere. Now the goal in this matchup is to make sure you're crashing waves decisively, don't let them stick it outside of tower and poke you down, so a clean wave 3 crash is recommended. It's pretty hard to run this guy down level 1 and kill him, unless he fully trolls and runs up, so just play it quite slow with the wave early game, don't make it too volatile, crash wave 3, wave 4 back to the middle, and then go for a long trade up against him. If you can have the wave come all the way back to your side, and go for a level 1, level 4 all in with Ghost, that's going to be really ideal as well. If not, if the wave control doesn't go too well, or you trade and beat up the wave too much, it's okay, just make sure the lane doesn't go for too long, try to crash maybe wave 5, wave 6, get a recall off, get back to lane with full resources, let the wave come back to you, and play for that kill. It's all about the long trades. You don't want to take many short trades against Ornn, so try to get the extended trade with the wave on your side as soon as you can. Now another tip for this matchup, he is a mainly skill shot based champion, so you need to be approaching velocity well. So you hit your Q onto him, and then you pretend to run towards him and juke off to the side, predicting his Q ahead of time. If he can do that, dodge his Q, he's not going to be able to hit his E. You're probably going to be able to dodge his W as well if you utilize the approach quite well, so it's really hard for him to play up against you if you play that way. Make sure as well you use your ulti before you get hit by E or before you get hit by his ulti, because with knockups, if you ulti while you're in the air, you're not going to cancel that CC. You need ulti just before those spells hit you. That's going to be the best way to use it. Moving on to Pantheon, this matchup can be quite difficult if you're unfamiliar with it, but what I recommend doing, Ghost Flash with D-Blade, and playing the 1 to 5 very, very passive. The thing about Pantheon is at level 6 you have an ulti, he doesn't, and he also will not have a W anymore, so level 6 is your prime time to completely destroy him, you win the long trades as well, so 1 to 5 just play really pussy, just play really scared, let him push you in, mainly play for farm. Try to stay high HP. Of course, there's a trick to that, trying to bait him to use Q, so run towards him, juke backwards, pretend to go on him, hit Q, run at him, juke to the side, dodge his Q. Mainly play to conserve HP early game, 1 to 5. You don't want to be in a situation where you're making it too volatile, getting poked down, and risking getting it all in by Ignite. So let him get prime, play it quite passive. You don't want to burn a bunch of mana where he's just going to W you, click backwards, you chase him, he E's you. You can't really play into him until you have your ulti. So at that point, you can run him down. The second you hit your axe, when you have Ghost Flash available and you're level 6, he's dead. So just keep that in mind. Let the wave come into 1 to 5. It's going to feel not that great, letting this guy push you around. But the second you hit 6, he's dead. So it's going to be worth it in the long run. Next up we have Poppy, and for this one I recommend D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash, but you can take TP and Ghost depending on their champions. If they have a heavy melee comp, you can run TP. If they have ranged champions, you should go Ghost Flash, but Ghost Flash does feel quite good in this matchup. as it's quite easy for her to space you and run you around, but if you have double combat summoners, it's going to be a lot harder for her. Now, make sure you get priority, no matter what. Go for a 2-wave crash, I would say. Big reason for that, she's going to poke you down a lot, so just keep hitting the wave. Just keep abusing OLAF lifesteal, bash it down, crash wave 2 very cleanly. Wave 3 will come back kind of halfway between the center and the tower. That's fine as well. Hard push that wave also. The reason you want to hard push that one, you want to get level 3 advantage, making sure this whole time you're trying to abuse level 2 versus 1, 3 versus 2, and just remember, you want long trades, she wants short trades, so only try to take extended trades. Of course, you can get the cheeky QE click backwards if she walks up for a minion. That's perfectly fine, but you mainly want to get long trades in this matchup. But early on, that can be quite hard to do so crash wave 2 into 3, wave 4 comes back to the middle, then play for that long trade. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you're probably going to be looking to get a recall after that, around wave 5, wave 6 maybe, crash that wave base, come back to lane with longsword and refillable, and then you go for the all-in when the wave is coming back towards you. It's a bit hard to kill her before 6, as she can kind of space you out with Qs, but if the wave is on your side and you hit an X, and you use your ghost, you use your approach velocity to dodge her Q, you're going to be able to run her down and play for that kill. Moving on to Quinn, and this matchup, if she takes Phage Rush, is very, very difficult, but 99% of Quinn players will not, so you are going to be fine. So 1 to 5, it's going to be in her favor. If you hit Q and walk at her, she is going to kick you away, so not really much you can do in that aspect. So make sure you're playing mainly to allow her to push you in, don't play for pro, let her push you in, utilize bush control quite well to stay high HP. And then when the wave is on your side, if you can find a way where she E's you and you hit your Q at the same time, then you can just flash Ghost onto her. That is okay, as long as your Q hits her when she flashes away. That is a timer that you can play for. But if she doesn't have Phage Rush, you can always play for the level 6, hit Q, pop Ghost, ulti before she E's you. That's really important. And then she's just going to die. So that's going to be your main timer that you play for. Try not to make it too volatile 1 to 5 if you can avoid it, especially if she has Ignite. Next up, we have Renekton, and this matchup's extremely volatile. I recommend going D-Blade, Ignite, and Flash. Now, the thing about this matchup is if Renekton takes Ignite, it is very Renekton favored. If he takes TP, it's going to be in your favor slightly. So that's something that you can look forward to because most Renekton players probably won't take Ignite into you. But if they do, your goal is to make sure you get priority no matter what. Try to get an extended trade level 1. If they start Q, you can run them down. If they start E, just Q, order them, they'll double dash away, and then you can just bash the wave. Go for a 2-wave crash in this matchup, pretty much always, because you want to be hitting the wave constantly, lifestealing the HP back, and go for that big all-in level 1 if he ever does walk up, and of course, always be looking to abuse your level 2 versus 1. Now, the issue with this matchup is going to pop in around level 3 when he has Fury, so you do have to be quite careful. I'd recommend crashing wave 2, and then letting the wave come back to you. If you crash wave 3, you can just stack too much Fury on the wave and get level 3 of Fury. It can be quite annoying, but if you feel like you're a little bit chunked, you can always stack wave 3, 4 together, crash that, and then get a recall off. You want to recall quite early on in this matchup to get longsword refillable and full HP back, because if Renekton gets you to 60% and he has Ignite, you're just going to die to a full combo. He can, of course, break your shield with his Empowered W, so you do have to be very mindful of that. Now, keep in mind as well, level 6 timer is very terrifying. You might think it'll be a little better for you because you can ulti his W, but you're mistaken because his ulti is just too broken. If he has ulti and Ignite, he can pretty much just all in you whenever he wants to. So I strongly recommend rushing tabbies in this matchup, trying to play the spacing game a little bit. If you Q and walk towards him, E, click backwards, try to space him and bait him to use his W, you're going to be fine. If you just Q run at him and he full combos you and dashes away, you're going to lose that trade, of course. So it's quite a difficult matchup. I'd recommend trying to get extended trades. And later on, when the wave gets to your side, you want to be going for that strong all-in. But again, if you have Ignite and he doesn't, it's going to be significantly easier for you. Next up, we have Rengar, and for this one, I would recommend giving him priority early game, trying to hold on to your level 1 ward to make sure you can use it in the 3rd lane bush, not straight away, but when he starts to push, just before he goes in there, you don't want to let him one-shot that ward, of course, or just as he jumps out of the bush, you can ward it, and then just make sure you're letting him push you in early. Try to get level 3, hit your Q, and then you can go for that extended trade. This matchup's pretty much in Rengar's favor, because you can just shout your axe and kite you around. It's quite annoying, but if he jumps onto you, makes a mistake, you hit Q onto him, and he's a little bit far from the bush, you can just pop that ghost and run him down. Just don't make it too volatile 1 to 2. You need your level 3 all-in up against him. Next up, we have Riven, and for this one, I recommend going D-Blade, Barrier, and Flash. The reason for Barrier is you can get priority if you have Barrier. If you have Ghost, you can't really get priority up against it. Her all-in will just be too strong. But you can take Ghost and Flash and give her prior. There's also a strategy as well. Ghost does scale a lot better, of course. Barrier is just a little bit nicer for the matchup. Now, the goal in this one is to, if you get prior, that's fine. Get priority. Make sure you're getting the first recall off. So maybe just a wave 2 crash into a wave 4 crash is going to be your default. And keep in mind, spacing is very important. You need to make her commit multiple gap closes to reach you. If she can just full combo you right away, you're going to struggle a lot. Now, this next tip applies to every matchup, but especially Riven. If you throw out your Axe, you need to play completely different. Those long-range axes where you're farming or poking them, you need to run away. Because if she gets onto you when you don't have your axe, you're just going to die. Your axe is your defensive and your offensive tool. You need the threat of constantly juggling axes to hit her back if she goes onto you. So if you don't have your axe up, you're going to struggle a lot. So do not toss it out for no reason. She's also just going to block the damage of E anyway, so not really good to poke up against her with that. But at level 6 with Barrier, and if you get early armor as well, you can do Frozen Heart Rush. If they have an AD jungler, like a Vi or something like that, it'll be quite good, or a Graves, that'd be amazing. If not, you can just do Tabbies. If you have early armor, level 6 and Barrier, and she goes on to you, and you buff a Q into ulti just before you get CC'd, you can win the all-in, so that's going to be what you mainly play for. It's a weird matchup. If you go onto her, you'll get shit on. If she goes onto you, she can get shit on if you play it well. So just keep that in mind. Don't try to force too hard. Don't make this one too volatile. Let her come to you and do the dirty work for you. Moving on to Rumble, and for this one, I recommend going Doran's Shield with Ghost and Flash. He just has way too much poke. You can get away with D-Blade if you're confident, however. Now for this one, you should rush Hexdrinker every time. If they have an AP jungler or maybe a strong AP mid, you can rush a full Maw. That is perfectly acceptable. Now with this matchup, you should get early game Pro, but you're not going to get Pro for long. So just get a 2-wave crash and then let the waves come back towards you. Let it come all the way back to your side. If he doesn't have Phase Rush and you hit a Q and you're full HP, you can go for the all-in. Unless he has Ignite, then he's just going to kill you if he has Ignite Conqueror. So you mainly want to be playing quite passive early game, mainly playing for waves. Use the wave to block his harpoons. And then if you can get your Hexdrinker, then you can go for an all-in against him with Ghost and Flash and Hexdrinker. That's when you can kill him. But 1 to 5, he just does too much damage. You're going to lose. So just play it quite passively in the early game. Moving on to Ryze, and the problem with this champion is going to be, of course, his Phase Rush, so you need to play around that. I'd recommend going D-Shield, Ghost and Flash, and give him early game priority, but because his poke's not that strong level 1, don't give him hard priority, make sure you're hitting the wave a lot, and try to get level 2 at a similar time, but let him push you in slightly, and now when the wave is by your side, you can go for the extended trade. But make sure you're playing it in 2 rotations. 1, you hit your Q, you run at him, you pop his Phase Rush. 2nd, if you hit your Q, it's time to go with your Ghost. If you hit your Q and you Ghost at him and he EWs you, you can still catch up, hit that second axe, or you can flash follow his flash, something like that, then you can play for that kill. The problem of level 6 is if your ulti is just going to ulti away, it gets quite annoying, but you can just go early to Stridebreaker, and that's going to be a lot easier to kill him. Don't go Hexdrinker, you don't need it in this one. But just mainly go to push him in. You could also go early Tiamat and just mainly play for crashing waves. He'll poke you while you're crashing, and then you can base early, that's perfectly fine. But I actually recommend Ionian Boots as your first item, so it's a lot easier to reach him, and also the reduce summoner spell cooldown as well. It feels very good for this 1v1. Moving on to Set, and for this matchup I recommend going Deep Blade and Ghost and Flash, and the priority is pretty close. If he has Ignite, you should give it to him. If he doesn't, you should play for that Prime, and keep in mind you want the extended trade. Don't be afraid to use your Ghost to dodge his W as well, even if you don't kill him, even if it's a favorable trade, because that's going to give you control of the lane. Now for this one, you want extended trades, and he wants short trades. If the trade is short, or if it's medium size, you know, he hits you a couple of times and EWs you and runs away, he's going to win. So you need the trade to be extended, you need to be going for a trade where you can run him down, and make sure you're constantly hitting the wave to lifesteal back off it as well, because he gets a lot of passive regen. So if you're not abusing your own passive, you're not going to win in the end there, but you can always use ulti to block his E, block his ulti. So I'm actually a big fan of this matchup. I think it's relatively easy. Just get an early longsword on your first recall, tabbies on your second one, and play for those extended trades. Moving on to Shen, and even though this matchup's quite easy, you do have to be a little bit careful 1 to 5, when of course you can't really ulti his taunt yet. But I recommend going D-Blade with Ghost and Flash. You can run TP and Ghost if you feel like you don't need the extra mobility. So if they have a full melee comp that's running towards you, just go TP and match his global pressure. If not, if they have a bunch of range champions, then go Ghost and Flash. Either is fine. Now make sure you get priority no matter what. And just remember, you want long trades, he wants short trades. If he whacks you 3 times with Q, and the trade ends, you're going to lose, so don't get scared when he beats you up a little bit at the start. If the trade goes for a long time, you are going to win in the end. Try to abuse your level 2 vs 1, your level 3 vs 2, and for this one, I'll just go for a 2-wave crash, because it is going to be volatile if the Shen player is good. You are going to fight, you are going to hit the wave a lot. So 2-wave crash is a little bit more consistent. You could also get wave 3 under the tower. I recommend hitting wave 3 the second you see it. You need to get level 3 before him. You do not want him taunting on your head when he's level 3 and you're level 2. If he has Ignite, you're just going to die. So crash wave 2 and then crash wave 3, where you fall back to the middle, and then play for that extended trade. After that, you're probably going to be fishing for a recall, so try to get that off. And in this matchup, you want to be rushing Ravenous Hydra and just keeping this guy stuck under tower forever, so that if he ever tries to ulti to his team, you are going to be very easily just blow up his tower. The wave's already going to be settled, so you're going to be chilling. This is another great matchup as well with Ravenous Hydra. You can just 1v2 Shin and any combination of jungler really, unless it's got 10 kills or something, you're going to be perfectly fine. So don't feel too pressured to get an early game lead 1-5 against him. It gets a lot easier at level 6 when you have an ulti, and he no longer has a taunt and doesn't have a 1v1 combat ulti. Now, for Shyvana, pretty easy matchup. All it requires is good wave control. Go D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. Crash wave 2. Of course, level 1 all-in, level 2 vs 1 all-in if she ever walks up. But crash wave 2, let the wave come all the way back to your side of the tower. Hit your axe, pop Ghost, and she's completely dead. Nothing she can do about it. This matchup is a guaranteed solo kill, or guaranteed their jungler has to come and babysit. Next up, we have Singed, and for this matchup, I recommend playing for early game prior. If he's gassing up the wave as it comes in, it's not a problem. Just make sure you go D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash, and hit the wave a bunch as soon as you can. Try to get pro, try to get level 2 at the same time, and always try to buffer your QE through his flip. You can actually start your Q and your E animation during his flip animation, hit both, and then if you pop Ghost, pick up your axe, hit that again. You can run this guy down. It's a pretty easy matchup, I'd say. If he takes Phase Rush, he's going to be hard to kill. You're going to have to do one trade to pop Phase Rush, one trade to kill, and don't panic if you have a proxies. OLAF can also proxy as well, so it's not a big deal. You could also go an early Tiamat for this one to match that proxy power. Moving on to Sion, and for this one I recommend D-Blade and Ghost and Flash, but you can run TP and Ghost if you want, if their comp's not really that range heavy. Now, the thing about this matchup, you're going to get pro no matter what, but you need to be very good at using your approach velocity to dodge his abilities. You need to be queuing him, running at him. If he queues you, dodge to the side. You need to be trying to dodge his E, so if he's lining you up on a minion or something like that, you need to be trying to avoid it, because if he doesn't hit E onto you and you hit your Q, he can never hit Q onto you, so that's going to be your goal. But level 6 it gets a lot easier. You can just ulti whenever he queues. You can block his ulti with your ulti as well. So this matchup's pretty free. Just rush Rav Hydra. You can just keep him pinned under tower the whole game. But I do want you to play for an early game kill. So to do so, you can crash wave 2. Let the wave come back towards you and play for an all-in if he walks up. If he walks up before that when the wave's in the center, you can take an extended trade as well. That's also fine. Just try to play really aggressive early game, play for that early game advantage, but make sure no matter what, you do not miss your recall timer, because if he bases and TPs and you're half HP, half mana, the matchup can flip on its head pretty quickly. Moving on to Tahm Kench, and for this matchup I recommend D-Blade Ghost Flash, and this one is just the ultimate meatball. Don't feel like you need to kill him, don't feel like you need to get a big advantage. Yes, you can block his Q stun with ulti, you can get out of his belly, but if you ult him, he's just going to W away. So this matchup is mainly just a neutralizer. It's fine just to play for pro, play for proxying, get cooldown boots early, I would say, and just play that proxy playstyle, try to be involved around the map. Of course, if he W's in for some reason or does something dumb, you can kill him, that's fine. But this matchup, just keep in mind, going even is way better for you. Your champ is significantly more useful, but you should be able to get an early game CS advantage because you get priority. You'll win the level 2 vs 1, 3 vs 2, stuff like that. But don't feel like you're going to try too hard to kill him, because that's going to make you to make cause you to make mistakes and die to ganks. Just mainly play to keep your own resources good, play for good wave control and high tempo recalls. Next up we have Teemo, and for this matchup I recommend Doran Shield, and you can run either Ghost Flash or TP and Ghost. TP and Ghost if you're not confident, Ghost and Flash if you are. Now if a bad Teemo player doesn't take Phase Rush, you're going to be perfectly fine. So if he doesn't have Phase Rush, just let him push you in early. Utilize push control to stay high HP, and then when you're both level 2 or both level 3 and you hit an axe, you pop Ghost and kill him. If he does have Phase Rush, you have to take one timer where you Q him, run towards him, he pops Phase Rush, you run away, and then you all in him on the second rotation. That's going to be fine. The thing about this matchup is when he recalls and gets Swifty Boots, it gets significantly more difficult. So if you can get an early game kill against him, that's going to be very ideal, but you can only really do that if he doesn't have Phase Rush or if he doesn't play around his Phase Rush cooldown, so look out for that. Try to get early cooldown boots if you can on your first recall, that's going to be ideal, but it is Teemo. If he makes you base earlier and you go longsword refillable, not really a big problem. You are probably going to go down a little bit of farm in this matchup, but he's very gankable, and if he doesn't have Phase Rush again and you're level 6, you hit Q, he's just going to die to your Ghost and your ult team, so you can always play for that. Next up we have Trundle, and the thing about this champion is even though it technically does counter you, he's very limited in what he can do, so if you play the spacing game well, you're going to be fine. So go D-Blade goes Flash, and for this matchup, it's really important that you utilize the extra range you have on your Q and your E. So you Q towards him, you poke him down. Normally, OLAF, you want to take long trades against almost every champ in the game. Trundle, it's the opposite. You want to take short trades, poke him down with Qs and E's, and then go for the all-in when he's low HP. Pre-6, you can kill him if he's low, if you just poke him down with QE a bit. get him to around 45-50%, hit an axe, pop ghost, and you're maybe 80%, you can win the all in that situation, but you should never try to play the headbutt battle up against Trundle if you're even. If you're both full HP, if you're both 80% or whatever, you don't want to be trying to headbutt each other to death. He's always going to win that. He's the king of right-clicking, so you need to make sure you poke him down first with your range advantage, and then go for the all-in when he's low. Next up, we have Tryndamere. Now, this matchup is one of my least favorite melee matchups for OLAF, but I do have some secret sauce for you. I recommend going D-Blade with Ghost and Flash and actually rushing Frozen Heart as your first item no matter what. OLAF has really bad mana problems, and Tryndamere's a sustained king, but his whole kit is just auto-attacking. Frozen Heart goes a long way. You're just going to be able to win the extended trade against him if you have Frozen Heart, so definitely a great rush. So Frozen Heart into Stride Breaker normally is what you want to be doing. And once you have Frozen Heart or even the early Warden's Mail, really hard for him to do anything. Just make sure your number one goal in this matchup is your reset timer. Tryndamere has infinite healing sustain and no mana. You've got a little bit of healing sustain and terrible mana problems. So make sure no matter what, your back timer is your top priority. And then when you get some early armor, that early Warden's Mail, you can play for those extended trades and run them down the lane. It can be quite good for you. Next up we have Udyr, and for this one I recommend D-Blade, Ghost and Flash, and make sure level 1 you're trying to bait his Awaken. As soon as his Awaken's on cooldown, it's go time. If his Awaken's down and you hit Q, you pop Ghost, he's gonna die. You're gonna win the extended trade, just always remember that. Udyr wants short trades, you want long trades, so you must play for that extended trade. It might be different if they run the AD Udyr with Ignite setup, that's gonna be a bit different, you have to play a bit more respectful in that case, but against a normal Udyr player, you want to play for those extended trades no matter what, try to run him down the lane and rush Ravenous Hydra in this one, and you can just completely ignore his damage. Next up we have Urgot. Now the thing about this matchup is no matter what, the level 6 onwards is extremely free. You hit your axe, you go through his character, you ulti his flip, he's dead. But the 1 to 5 is where you need to be playing it the best, so what I recommend you do is going D-Blade, Ghost and Flash. You can run D-Shield if you're not confident, but D-Blade is recommended if you have a little bit of confidence. Now your goal is to bait him to use his E. So the way you do that is you hit your Q onto him, you run at him, you look scary, you stick out your chest, he's going to flip, but you already pre-moved. The second you see the shield, the second you see the animation start, you're already pre-dodging to the side. Use your ghost as well. Don't be afraid to commit your ghost early if you're trying to dodge his E. If you dodge it with your ghost, pick up your axe, you're going to win the extended trade. Just beat his head and just bash him down. You're going to win. If you get hit by the flip, you're going to get annihilated. So make sure you're really trying to utilize your approach and your ghost to dodge his E, and then you can kill him. Later on, if he has his Q, if you get hit by that slow, you're not going to be able to dodge his E, so try to bait his Q. If he just Qs you for poke, or if you're just farming and you walk at him and he Qs and you step backwards, then you hit your axe and you run at him, dodges E as well. It's very mind gamey. You want to be using approach velocity well to dodge his Q slow, dodge his E flip. But then at level 6, the mind game's got out the window, hit axe, dead. That's mainly what you're playing for. Next up we have Vayne, and even though this matchup can be quite tricky for OLAF, at level 6 if you hit your axe she's just dead when you can ulti or condemn, so you can always play for that. You can always get an early sweeper on your first recall as well, for that level 6 fight, or your second recall whenever you got ulti, so you can sweep out her silhouette, and then go for that all-in trade. I recommend going Ghost and Flash, D-Shield if you're not confident, D-Blade if you are, and let her push you in early game. Conserve HP, try not to get too low, and then when you're level 3 and you hit your axe, it's go time. You can pop Ghost and make it volatile. If she burns her subsets, great, because she's very, very vulnerable. Remember, the objective for a ranged champion is to get you low HP and stay healthy themselves. So if you get an axe and you run at her, and you both get low and you both hit each other a bunch, that's going to benefit you way more. The ranged champ's way more susceptible to getting ganked and for you to just flash on their head. So it's better to play for that, make it a bit of volatile. Just not level 1 to 3, because she's going to be getting priority. Unless she makes a mistake level 1. If she Qs forward onto you and you hit your axe, pop Ghost and beat her head in. If she uses her Q only to dodge your Q, then you can't do anything and you give her prime. It really depends how the Vayne player plays, but don't be afraid to hit a Q directly onto her head if she tumbles forward and pop that Ghost. Next up we have Vladimir, and for this one I recommend going D-Shield with Ghost and Flash and playing for early game priority. Make sure you're crashing wave 2 as decisively as you can and let the wave come back towards you. Try to trim the wave as it comes in, and when the wave is on your side, you go for that all-in. The number one rule for this matchup, never get hit by his empowered Q. Never ever. You always want to be playing around that and never let him get it, even if you have to give a minion or two. The number 2 rule is your all-ins go into rotations. The first one, you hit your Q, you walk towards him, you look scary, you pop his phase rush, and then you all-in him on the next one. If you can burn his phase rush and his pull in one trade, that is amazing. You're just going to be able to kill him whenever you want. You can just flash Q him as well, and he's going to die. Be careful of flash queuing at times, because sometimes if you flash, they're just going to flash in response. So you can flash E, stare at them, wait for them to flash, and then Q follow. That's also a good way to solo kill them. But early game, you're mainly just crashing wave 2, so that you're not giving him level 2 advantage, not giving him level 3 advantage, then letting the wave come back in, and playing for that all-in later on, preferably before 6 when his damage is a little bit lower. You can also go Hex Drinker early if they have a heavy AP comp, so maybe a really strong AP mid, or an AP jungler like Zyra or something. You can go Hex Drinker, that's perfectly fine. If not, just go cooldown boots as fast as you can. Next up, we have Volibear, and I used to believe this matchup was favored for OLAF until I versed the best Korean Volibear who took Phase Rush and Ignite. If they do that, it's very, very annoying. But no Volibear you verse is probably going to take Phase Rush, so your goal in this matchup is get priority level 1. His level 1's not actually that strong. You don't want to be tanking his E no matter what. Don't fight him when his shield's up, but if you Q him, you walk towards him, he does a little shout to the sky, you run away, wait for the shield to drop off, and then go for an all-in. You're going to be perfectly fine. You're going to win that one, and always hit the wave as much as you can. Don't be afraid to do just a normal 2-wave crash. Keep hitting that wave. Do not let him get a big advantage, because if he stacks 5 on the wave and you're not hitting it, and then he gets level 2, he's going to have like a 3-4 minion advantage. You're not going to be able to do anything, so you need to watch out for that. Now at level 3, this matchup's really hard because you can just full combo you and click away. So level 1 is quite good for you, level 3 is not good, and level 6 it becomes pretty good for you again. Granted, he doesn't have Phase Rush Ignite, so around level 6 when the wave's on your side, if you hit an X, you pop Ghost, you run at him, you ult his Q, you dodge his E no matter what, and you should win that all in if you're full HP. Next up, we have Warwick, and for this matchup, I recommend going Ghost Flash, going Doran's Blade, and try to get Executioner's Calling on your first recall. Do not try to kill Warwick 1 to 5. No matter what, this champion does not die 1 to 5. You need to get a healing cut on your first recall, and then you can play it for it. So early game, just give him priority, try to stay high HP, heavily respect, do not trade with him, don't get both of you to half HP, that's always going to benefit Warwick. Mainly play for just farming with Q, poking him at the same time. If he fights you in a bunch of minions and you Q auto E him and click away, you know, tiny trade like that, that's fine. But the thing is, OLAF normally loves long trades, but this Warwick just takes short ones. Don't get too low, don't make it too volatile, and after you recall and get your executioners and then you get your ulti, that's when you can try to kill him when he's low HP, but before that time you do have to be quite careful. Next up, we have Wukong. Now, if the Wukong player takes Ignite, it's significantly more difficult. If he doesn't, it's a free one, and I recommend going D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. Now, for this matchup, make sure you get priority, hit the wave as much as you can. If he E's onto you, onto your side of the minions, you're going to win the trade. If you fight him on his side of the minions, he's going to win the trade. So it's a standoff, hit the wave. If he E's onto you, you buffer your Q through it, hit him a few times, you're going to be fine, and try to abuse that level 2 versus 1 advantage. Go W level 2 in this matchup. The general rule for W versus E, if they can fight you back, go W. If they can't, go E. Wukong can always fight you back, so go W level 2, and try to go for a wave 2 crash because you're bashing the wave down a lot. Wave 3 back to middle, rush level 3 as fast as you can. Do not get him level 3 versus 2 advantage, then you're probably going to crash wave 3. Wave 4 comes back to the middle, and then you can go for a trade then. Or you can always base this matchup's actually a little bit better later on. The 1 to 3 is a little bit sketchy, so don't make it too volatile early game. But when you have ninja tabbies like level 7, level 8, and tabbies, the matchup's quite easy. So try to play it quite conservative early game and just punish him if he forces onto you. If not, you mainly play for the wave control and the back timers. Next up, we have Yasuo, and for this matchup, I recommend getting priority with D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash, and going for that extended trade, but do not fight him in his shield. 1 Q to pop the shield, click backwards, go back up and pick up your Q when his shield drops off, and then you can go for that extended trade. Now, this matchup level 6 is very, very easy. If the wave is on your side and you hit an X, he's just dead even before 6, so 2-wave crash in this matchup, let the wave come back on your side, and play for a level 4 solo kill. If that doesn't work out, perfectly fine, level 6 is going to be even easier. Next up, we have Yone, and for this matchup, I recommend getting priority with Ghost Flash and D-Blade, and you want to be trying to get an extended trade level 1 if you can. If he takes bone plating, for some reason Yone has always had bone plating in this one, hit Q onto him, wait it out, and then go for that extended trade. When he has Q3, respect, don't take the damage for free, and go for a 2-wave crash. Just hit the wave the whole time, make sure you get priority, make sure you level up before him, crash wave 2, play around his Q3 quite heavily. If you can bait him to use W and dodge that, really, really good. So click towards him, click backwards, so bait that out, and when the shield's on cooldown, then you can go for a trade that's a good timer. This matchup's a lot of skill expression. You need to be hitting your Qs and dodging his Qs. If you hit your one, it's very easy to dodge his ones because you get approach velocity. Use that movement speed to dodge to the side, and always be thinking about his Qs. You walk towards him, you click backwards. If you Q him and run at him, click to the side, dodge his Q, because that's going to really break his momentum if you can dodge just 1 or 2 of those Qs during an all-in. Next up, we have Yorick, and this matchup you really want to be taking extended trades, and he wants short trades. So I recommend D-Blade, Ghost and Flash if the wave is on your side, and he doesn't have his ulti. If you hit your Q, you can kill him. You'll ghost him down, you'll flash out of his cage, he's gonna die. So the way you play the early game, really big level 1 trade if he walks up, crash wave 2, let the wave come back towards you all the way to your side if you have good resources. If you don't have good resources for whatever reason, if the trade didn't go that well, then just crash wave 4, recall, come back to lane, and kill him on that bounce back on the way back towards you. You really want to try to get a kill before level 6 if you can in this lane. And for our final matchup, we have Zac, and for this one, the number 1 rule is healing cut on your first recall. So you're going to be running D-Blade, Ghost, and Flash. You can run TP and Ghost if they have a really heavy melee comp, but I recommend Ghost and Flash. Now for this one, you must get priority. Do not take an all-in against him level 1. This champion has infinite sustain, so only take a level 1 all-in if he's playing crazy. If he's running at you and trying to scrap, of course, destroy him. But don't chase him down the lane and beat him up and tank his minion wave. He's going to out-sustain you in the long run. So just play for early game prior. You can crash wave 3 in this one if he plays quite careful. If he doesn't, if you beat him up, crash wave 2. But you want to be crashing wave 3, have wave 4 bounce back to the middle, and then go for an extended trade. After that, you want to be stacking waves together, crash that, and try not to make it too volatile early game, because you don't want to base for longsword refill. You want to base for execution as refill, or even execution as single potion on your first base if you can. That's a really good goal to set, because once you have Xyz, then you can kill him very, very easily. Level 5 when you have 3 points Q, level 6 when you have ulti with executioners, very easy to run him down the lane and kill him. Alright everyone, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as usual, if you have any questions at all, maybe you'd like to see me make this type of video for another champion, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If it's a champion I have a lot of experience on, I'll see what I can do, and I'll see you all next time.